The point, too, is the decisions that you make, I think, Mr. Meek, and so articulately explained here, the decisions that you make have long-term ramifications. If you make bad decisions, as we have seen, now, regardless of where you were on the war, what your position was before it started, or when it started, or how your vote was, we now have to calculate and figure out $1.3 trillion was spent on this war that we elected to go into, that now has been proven time and time again that Saddam Hussein had nothing to do with 9/11. Saddam Hussein did not have weapons of mass destruction. So as policymakers, we need to look back and evaluate whether or not this was a good decision. $1.3 trillion at the end of next year, or at the end of this year, will have been spent on this war. And we look all across our country, and has it helped reduce gas prices? No. Has it helped create stability around the world? No. Did it decrease the number of terrorists around the world? No, it actually increased the number. And every intelligence report from all over the world will tell us that. So we need to understand that as we make these decisions, whether it's on the stimulus package, whether it's on our tax code, whether it's on the investments we're going to make in this country, these are big decisions because the ramifications are pretty big when you look 5 or 6 years down the line, and could be as costly when you get into an elective war as $1.3 trillion. So these are the kind of decisions that we're making here, and I think it's very important for us to recognize as we make them that these have long-term ramifications. The tax cuts, look at what you combine the war and the tax cuts. When our friends were in charge of this body for 6 years, and since President Bush was in, and President Bush was president, and a Republican-controlled House and Senate, $3 trillion was borrowed from the Chinese, the Japanese, to increase our debt. So our debt went up by $3 trillion. They raised the debt limit 5 times. So when you combine the Bush tax cuts with the war, some very immature policy decisions were made.